Perfecto. Buenas noches. Buenas tardes. Just as I was reminding you a couple seconds ago, this is the night where you might want to reflect upon the lesson in video format. If you're confused about anything, go back and rewatch it. I'll put the recording on Canvas and you'll be able to click and go back to the area of the lesson that you were lost or confused, because I'm going to throw a lot of information out at you. We're going to do a couple activities, but it's a lot of explaining and asking if you're following along. So hopefully I won't lose you in the midst of it all. And one last thing I want to remind you before we formally begin. Every week, well, not every week, but we have a discussion board that we like to incorporate in our process. It allows you to speak Spanish, have your peers in the class listen to you and comment about what you say. We had one last week, and I reminded you there were a lot of people that didn't complete the task. There were a handful that did, but I just want to make sure that you're aware that in each module, I assign connect assignments, but I also assign a discussion board. If we have an assessment, then I don't assign the discussion board. So, like, for example, there's a discussion board due tomorrow. And it's about, let's see here, discussion board. ¿Qué haces en su tiempo libre? What do you do in your free time? Because last week we talked about verb conjugations. So, ¿qué haces en tu tiempo libre? I could say, yo escucho música, yo hago mi tarea, yo camino con mi esposa en el parque, yo leo libros. All of these cool things we could do in our free time, and it's having me get you to practice verbally what we're learning. Okay, so with that said, just wanted to last remind you of that. Vamos a compartir con ustedes la pantalla, compartir. We're going to share, compartir, screen share. Okay, excelente. Muy bien, muy bien, muy bien. Ok, estamos en el módulo 10, el módulo 10. Okay, I always like to set up my dual screen here if you allow me to do so. I've got some people in the waiting room that I want to enter. Okay. Estamos en el módulo 10. We're actually starting chapter 4 tonight. So in this week's module, you'll see a link for the vocabulary in Quizlet to review. Now, we're not having a chapter test quite yet on chapter 3. We're actually going to combine chapters 3 and 4 and have one test on both. So today we go through a lot of chapter 4, a lot of la rutina y los planes. Tonight we're going to review a whole bunch of good stuff. Okay, perfecto. And I always want to remind you, the key to success is to expose yourself to as much Spanish as possible. Listen, 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 read, read, read. Try to speak, speak, speak. We want to do write as much as possible. I always like the little triangle trifecta here. If we write each day, if we listen each day, if we read each day, if we speak to a person each day, it's incredible how fast we learn the language. But if we kind of set it on the side, not really pay attention to it, maybe once in a while, it's really hard to have that increased growth. You'll still grow, but at a slower pace. Okay, perfecto, vamos. ¿Cómo estás hoy? ¿Cómo estás hoy? ¿Cómo estás, Andrés? ¿Cómo estás, Ariana? ¿Cómo estás? A ver, Amanda, I know your internet's a little rough. ¿Cómo estás hoy? ¿Bien, mal, ocupada, enferma?
Estoy bien y cansada. I went snowboarding today.
Okay, so you would say yo fui or yo hice, I did snowboarding. Excelente. ¿Y a dónde fuiste? Where did you go? ¿A dónde fuiste?
Um, Sugar Bowl.
Oh, Sugar Bowl. Excelente.
hmm
Muy bien, muy bien. Ariana, ¿cómo estás tú?
Estoy bien
Muy bien, estoy muy
cansado.
cansada. Sí, tú
Yeah.
estás cansada. Yo también estoy un poco cansado, ¿sí? A ver, Chris P., ¿cómo estás?
Muy ocupado trabajo.
Mucho trabajo, tienes mucho trabajo. Ya, muy bien. ¿Tú trabajas todos los días? Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves. ¿Tú trabajas todos los días?
Sí, 5 días.
5 días cada semana. Es mucho, sí. Hola, Josh, Zezo, bienvenidos. Good, you're able to get here on time. Excelente. I know you're a busy guy in the afternoons. ¿Cómo estás?
Uh, bien.
Bien, excelente, excelente. Hoy, ¿qué día es hoy? Hoy siempre es jueves, ¿no? Hoy es jueves, no es lunes, no es martes, no es miércoles, hoy es jueves. ¿Y la hora? ¿Qué hora es? Son las 6:07, son las 6:07 de la tarde. Hace sol, está nublado un poco, ¿sí? Ok, excelente. Quick reminder, last week we talked about verb conjugations. We're going to go deeper into that rabbit hole today. We're going to swim deeper in the pool. If you want to become a master at present tense regular verb conjugations, I recommend these flashcards. There's tutorial links in Canvas for you. I have suggested verbs that you can incorporate in these beautiful flashcards. Those things. And if you have not done that yet and you're still kind of confused on what pronoun goes with what verb ending, this is what you need to do. It will really change, game changer, game changer. Okay, perfecto. Preguntas. ¿Hay preguntas? ¿Hay algunas preguntas? Any in general question that the class could benefit from? Because if you have something individual for me, we can discuss that after class, or you can send me an email. But anything that will benefit the entire class, a question that has been burning in your mind? No? Nobody? Everybody good? Excelente. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have my chat open and I could see that in case you want to type something in. I'll go ahead and be looking at that. Excelente. Okay, perfecto. Seguimos. Hoy quiero empezar, I want to start, quiero empezar con un video, el episodio 3, una noche de juegos. Aquí tengo prácticas de laboratorio. Nos quedamos aquí. These are just a highlight words that are said throughout the video. What we're going to do is we're going to watch the video and then we're going to see if we can answer some true or false statements. We're going to see if we can answer some fill in the blank questions. Por ejemplo, antes, we want to identify some details before we watch it. ¿Cómo se llaman estos estudiantes? These students. Remember last week we talked about the demonstrative adjectives? These, those, this, and these have T's. ¿Cómo se llaman estos estudiantes? Se llaman Ramadés, Claudia, Sofía, Ana Sofía y Sebastián. ¿Dónde están? How we feel, where we are, always use estar. Where are they? ¿Dónde están los chicos en la foto? Están en la casa de Sebastián. Es la casa de Sebastián. ¿Y qué hacen? That word is going to come up a lot today. Hacer, to do. What are they doing? And I know it doesn't literally say, what are they doing? That's the use of ser or estar. In this case, estar. What are they doing? ING. We're not at the present progressive part yet. In English, we say, what are they doing? But in Spanish, we simply say, ¿qué hacen? ¿Qué hacen? Like if I came up to you and asked you, hey, what are you doing? I could literally say, ¿qué estás haciendo? What are you doing? Or I could just say, ¿qué haces? ¿Qué haces? I ask my daughter that every day. Hey, hija, ¿qué haces? What are you doing? ¿Qué haces? ¿Qué hacen los chicos en la foto? Los chicos juegan juntos. I just answer that for you. They are playing together. Now, I just used the present tense conjugation, juegan. They play together. They play a game together. Okay, vamos a ver unas frases. Tengo 5 frases aquí, 5 frases. Eloy no está con sus amigos porque está en la universidad. You're going to have to figure out if that's true or false as you watch. Eloy no está con sus amigos porque está en la universidad. Número 2. Claudia y Ana Sofía quieren salir a bailar. Los chicos no quieren. Número 3. Ana Sofía y Ramadés dicen que Claudia es muy mandona. Mandona. And I'll explain what some of these words mean in a second. A Ramadés le gusta mucho el café cubano que Sebastián prepara. Según Ramades, Sebastián cocina muy bien. So we've got a couple phrases here. I think the difficult words in number 2 would be quieren salir a bailar. Claudia and Sofia want to go out. Salir is to leave, want to go out and dance. Salir a bailar. It's to go out to dance, like to a dance club. And los chicos no quieren. The other people do not want to. I think the most difficult word in number 3 is mandona. Es muy mandona. Huh? Mandona. Mandona es.
Bossy.
Say that again?
Bossy.
Yes, mandona is bossy. Absolutely. It's to be bossy. Muy bien. Excelente. Excelente. Mandona. Always telling somebody what to do. Arramades. Let's see here. Prepara, just like in English, prepares. So Ramades likes the Cuban coffee that Sebastian prepares. And then Sebastian, according to Ramades, cooks very well. Okay. Ahora, sección número 2. Sección número 2. We've got some sentences here. Bailar, 4. Hace frío. We've got café, jugar el fútbol, texto, mensaje de texto. 5. Hace calor, and limonada. Our goal is to fill in the blanks. Now, there are a couple words here that are difficult. I would think that number 4 has a difficult word. Se quedan en casa. Quedarse is something called, and this is a foreshadow, what's coming up in a bit, a reflexive verb. That se is part of the reflexive verb, and I'll explain 100% what that is. But that means to stay at home. Se quedan en casa. Sebastián les ofrece, offers them. We've got refrescos, which are drinks. Okay, and no sabe cocinar bien is did not know how to cook well. So we got words to fill in the blanks. A ver, vamos a ver el video. I think we should now watch the video. Excelente. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing that. A ver, go into this. Excelente. ¿Listos? Vamos a ver el video. Excelente. Okay, turn up.
Hoy a las 5 en casa de Sebastián. Bueno, está bien.
Oh, can you not hear that?
I can now. I couldn't at first. I thought there was audio at the beginning, but I can hear it now.
Oh, okay, excelente, excelente. Okay. Okay, gracias.
Hoy a las 5 en casa de Sebastián. Bueno, está bien.
Claudia, ¿dónde está Eloy?
Tiene prácticas de laboratorio hasta las 7:30.
¿Un viernes por la tarde en el laboratorio? Pobre Eloy.
Sí, pobre Eloy, pero bueno, así es la vida de los futuros médicos, ¿no? Bueno, chicos, ¿qué hacemos esta noche?
Tengo una idea.
A ver.
Nos quedamos aquí en mi casa y yo cocino. Porque hace frío afuera. ¿Jugamos algún juego?
Sí, qué buena idea, Sebastián.
¿Un viernes por la noche en casa? Chicos, estáis mal, ¿eh?
Pero no supimos, ¿te gustan los juegos, no?
Sí, me gustan, pero prefiero ir a bailar.
Ay, no, ya no quiero ir a bailar. Mejor vamos a aquí.
Claudia siempre es muy mandona. ¿Cómo se dice mandona en inglés, Rames?
Se dice bossy, y es la verdad. Claudia es mandona.
Bueno, ¿qué juegos tenés, Sebastián?
Pues tengo 2 juegos que le gustan mucho a Ana Sofía.
A ver, sí. ¿Qué juegos?
Wii y Cráneo. ¿Te gustan esos juegos, verdad?
Sí, me gustan mucho, son muy divertidos.
Perfecto. Entonces, ¿jugamos cráneo primero?
Sí.
¿Dónde tenés el cráneo, Sebastián?
¿El cráneo? ¿Aquí en la cabeza?
Ay, no, ¿en serio? Está cómico, ¿ah? Bueno, voy por el cráneo.
Está allá. ¿Toman algo? Tengo refresco, limonada, café.
No, yo no quiero tomar nada, gracias. Yo tampoco quiero tomar nada, Sebastián. Gracias.
¿Y tú, Drames? ¿Un café?
Quizás más tarde. Gracias.
Tengo café cubano.
¿Café cubano?
Mm.
¿De verdad?
Sí, claro. Café cubano para mi amigo cubano. Espera un momento. Vuelvo pronto.
¿Café cubano en casa de Sebastián? Es posible, pero les digo un secreto. Aquí entre nosotros, Sebastián no cocina muy bien. Y su café, ¿quién sabe? ¿Ya está el café? ¡Qué rápido!
Sí, señor. Aquí tienes tu café. Y ahí dejo el azúcar por si necesitas.
Gracias, Sebastián.
Es café instantáneo. Rápido y fácil.
Oye, Sebastián, pero esto no es café cubano.
¡Sí es! Bueno, eso dice la taza. Mira, lee aquí. Cubano.
Bueno, ¿están listos para jugar al cráneo?
Sí, vamos. Jugamos chicos contra chicas.
Sí, claro. Bien. Dale.
A ver.
¿Eh?
Ok. Mira, Claudia.
¿Nieve? Mucha nieve. Frío. Mucho frío. Temblar. Esquiar. Esquí. Snowboard. Hacer snowboard. Invierno. Invierno. Julio.
Ya no tienen más tiempo. Ay, lo siento.
¿Julio? No, enero. Enero, Claudia. En enero hace frío, en enero nieva, en enero hacemos esquí.
No siempre en Sofía. Recordad que en Argentina y Uruguay, por ejemplo, no hace frío en enero. Generalmente en Argentina y Uruguay hace calor en enero.
Sí, es verdad que en el hemisferio sur las estaciones son lo opuesto a las de aquí, en Estados Unidos. Pero es que estamos en Berkeley.
Está bien, Ana Sofía, dale. No hay problema. Bueno, ¿continuamos?
Sí.
Es el turno de los chicos. Tiren el dado.
Sí, está bien, pero primero pedimos pizza.
No, señor. Esta noche yo cocino para ustedes.
¡Oh, no! Sebastián cocina hoy, ¡socorro!
No, tranquilos. ¿Qué tipo de pizza les gusta? ¿Queso y pepperoni?
Sí, dale.
Sí.
Excelente. Este club es lo máximo, ¿no?
Máximo.
Ok, excelente, excelente, excelente. Vamos a dejar de compartir. Ok. ¿Qué tal? ¿Fácil comprender? ¿Es muy fácil, difícil, más o menos? Más o menos, ok. Vamos a volver a la lección. Ok, excelente. Compartir esto aquí, excelente. En el chat, vamos a ver, número 1, en el chat, número 1, ¿es cierto o falso? Número 1, vamos a ver. Eloy no está con sus amigos porque está en la universidad. ¿Es cierto o falso? A ver, ¿qué piensan ustedes? ¿Qué piensan? ¿Qué piensan ustedes? Ok, muy bien. Sí, rápido. Es cierto, él está en el laboratorio. Está haciendo las prácticas en la universidad. Excelente. Número 2, Claudia y Ana Sofía quieren salir a bailar. Los chicos no quieren. ¿Cierto o falso? Un poco difícil, ok. Ok, muchos de ustedes dicen falso. Ok, pero una pregunta. Una persona entre Claudia y Ana Sofía, una de ellas sí quería ir a bailar. Who actually did want to go out and dance? Okay, yeah, Ana Sofía. Excelente, muy bien, muy bien. Número 3. Ana Sofía y Ramadés dicen que Claudia es muy mandona. Excelente, excelente. Sí, es cierto, es cierto. A Ramadés le gusta mucho el café cubano que Sebastián prepara. Ya, correcto, clase. Correcto, es falso. Él no prepara, él no prepara café cubano. Él prepara café instantáneo. Ok, instant coffee. Número 5, sabemos que es falso. Según Ramadés, according to Ramadés, Sebastián cocina muy bien. No, no cocinan, no cocina bien. Ellos deciden pedir pizza con pepperoni y queso. Ok, muy bien. Perfecto. Frase número 1, clase. Frase número 1. Para comunicarse con sus amigos, Claudia manda mensajes de qué? Claudia manda mensajes de qué? ¿Cuál es la respuesta? En el texto, por favor. ¿Cuál es la respuesta? Vamos a ver. Ok. Sí, muy bien, Shannon. Excelente. Muy bien. ¿Alguien más? ¿Más personas? ¿Cuál es la respuesta? ¿Qué palabra es la palabra correcta? ¿Qué palabra es la palabra correcta? Para comunicarse. Can type that in if you can. Excelente. Carter, muy bien. Haley, excelente. Excelente. Ok. Texto, mensaje de texto. A text message, right? Los chicos van a casa de Sebastián el viernes a las, ¿qué palabra es más lógica? ¿Qué palabra es más lógica? La palabra más lógica, ¿cuál es? Podemos escribir en el chat. Quiero ver la palabra más lógica. Excelente, Shannon. Muy bien. ¿Alguien más? Excelente. Amanda, perfecto. Haley, Carter, Juliana, muy bien. Gracias por participar. Josh Z, excelente. Ok, a las 5, correcto. Ana Sofía prefiere ir. She prefers to go. Prefiere ir a. Muy bien, a bailar. One thing I want to point out is prefiere is to prefer. Ir is to go. Notice how both words together, one is conjugated and the other is not. That's a very common thing in Spanish. The first verb conjugated, after that, if it's an auxiliary verb like prefiere ir. And even bailar is not even conjugated because prefiere has already done that. Prefiere or yo quiero ir. I want to go. You don't say yo quiero voy. Yo quiero ir. ¿Ok? Muy bien. Vamos. Siguiente. Se quedan, they stay, se quedan en casa de Sebastián porque afuera, outside, afuera, ¿cuál es la respuesta correcta? Ok, ya no hace calor, hace frío. Ellos dicen que hace frío. Excelente. Ellos dicen que hace frío. Número 5. Sebastián les ofrece blank refrescos y blank cubano a sus amigos. Ok, muy bien. Muy bien. Excelente, Shannon. Al revés. Muy bien. Excelente. Excelente, Chris. Sedita, todo Víctor, Haley, excelente, perfecto, limonada y café. Según Ramadés, Blank no sabe cocinar bien. ¿Cómo se llama? Sí, Sebastián. Es Sebastián. Excelente. Ok, bien. Siempre me gusta ver los vídeos para escuchar español, para practicar la comprensión, ¿ok? Para comprender más. Ok. Hoy quiero hablar de la rutina diaria. La rutina diaria. Every time I go over a concept, if you look on the top right, you can see page numbers to reference in the text, whether it's an actual textbook or the online v-text that you have. And last week, I started putting all of the lesson slides because sometimes these slides have animations or answers to questions to practice. I've included them in Canvas in the extra resources area where you can access the audio, the video that we're recording, and the slides. So you can click through the slides and revisit any of the material that we have in class, and drop in during my office hours if you want to review whatever we go over and you can't understand. Okay, perfecto. Muy bien. Eloy se ducha. Huh. In fact, vamos a pedir voluntarios. I want to have volunteers read those sentences. A ver, or víctimas. Haley, ¿puedes leer, por favor, Davidson?
Eloy, wait, the quote or the top?
Yeah, the top first line. Eloy se ducha, yeah.
Eloy se ducha, luego se seca,
Mm-hmm.
después de secarse, se afeita.
Okay, excelente, gracias. Eloy se ducha, aquí se ducha. Él dice, ¿me ducho con agua caliente o agua fría esta noche? He's asking himself, do I shower with hot water or cold water tonight? Okay, tenemos una toalla, una afeitadora eléctrica. Okay, this is una máquina especial para afeitarse. Okay, la siguiente, we're going to actually highlight these words in a second here. La siguiente frase, Jorge se acuesta. Carter, ¿puedes leer, por favor? Jorge se acuesta.
Jorge se acuesta para descansar antes de la fiesta. Por
Excelente.
fin se, you want me to do the second sentence?
Sí.
Por fin se despierta.
Okay, se acuesta para descansar antes de la fiesta. Por fin se despierta. Entonces, se acuesta, se despierta. Interesante. Vamos a la siguiente. Juliana, ¿podrías leer, por favor? ¿Puedes leer, Juliana? Okay, Juliana, somewhere here. Can you read that? Estefania, is that possible? Okay, well, that's okay. No worries. Let's go ahead and pick Chris P.
Estefanía, excuse me, se lava el pelo con agua caliente, shampoo y acondición. Oh, how do you say that?
Yeah, acondicionador.
Acondicionador. Después se seca el pelo.
Okay. Muy bien. Estefanía se lava el pelo con agua caliente. She says, siempre me lavo el pelo en la ducha. Champú, which is shampoo, and acondicionador, which sounds like hair conditioner for the hair. In some countries, they call it suavizante. You'll know that sometimes the vocabulary brought up in the book is considered standard, but in other countries, you might have a variation. So just be open-minded to that. Después se seca el pelo. Se lava el pelo. Se seca el pelo. ¿Ok? La siguiente frase. Vamos a pedir. Sedira, ¿puedes leer, por favor? Camila.
Camila se maquilla y después se cepilla el pelo. Le gusta arreglarse bien.
Muy bien, le gusta arreglarse bien. Ella dice, me cepillo el pelo 1, 2, 3, muchas veces. Excelente. Cepillo en espejo. We got all these cool words here. Actually, go ahead, Nadita. Can you read the next one, Xiomara?
Xiomara se pone un vestido morado.
Xiomara se pone el vestido morado. All of these things they're doing, this daily routine, interesting, okay? Okay, siguiente, vamos a pedir. Shannon, ¿puedes leer, por favor, antes de?
Antes de vestirse para salir, Franklin se lava, se cepilla los dientes.
Interesting. Franklin se lava, it's telling me that there are two options. Se lava y se cepilla los dientes. Very curious. Lavar, to wash. Cepillar, to brush. In English, we say brush our teeth. We don't really say to wash our teeth. But in Spanish, you can use to wash. Interesting. Okay, muy bien. Let's see here. Víctor, ¿puedes leer Ramadés se viste? Ramadés se viste. How are you doing, Victor? Are we able to read that? It's all right. Okay, no worries. You deal with whatever you got to deal with. Andres, go ahead and read that.
Cada mes se viste rápidamente. La fiesta empieza a las 8 y ya es muy tarde.
Excelente. Ramadés se viste rápidamente. La fiesta empieza a las 8 y ya es tarde. Now it's really late. Ya es muy tarde. Okay, excelente, excelente. Perfecto. I wanted to highlight specific words in each of those examples. Let's take a look. Se ducha. To shower. Okay. Secarse. To dry. Afeitarse. I'm using them in what's called the infinitive form. Afeitarse. To shave. Acuesta. Se acuesta. Comes from acostarse. To lie down. Despertarse, to wake up. Lavarse, lavarse el pelo in this example, to wash your hair. Secarse el pelo, to dry your hair. Se maquilla, to put on makeup. Arreglarse, to get ready, to put yourself together, basically. Put on clothes, shower, makeup, whatever. Ponerse, un vestido, to put on a dress, a purple dress in this case. Vestirse, to get dressed. Lavarse or cepillarse los dientes, to brush your teeth or wash your teeth. Se viste, to get dressed. Interesting. Notice how they all have se. What is going on? That say, that little tricky word say. Well, I hate to tell you this, but there is something called reflexive verbs. Let's think of a verb, a regular verb. Let's think of the word bailar. Vamos en chat. ¿Cómo se dice I dance? ¿Cómo se escribe I dance? A ver, vamos. I dance, bailar. Good. Excelente, Shannon. Excelente, Chris, Haley, Amanda, Juliana, Andrés, Nicole, Andrés. Perfecto. Sí, yo bailo. Excelente, yo bailo. Okay. ¿Cómo se dice we dance? We dance. Bailamos. Excelente. One last one. ¿Cómo se dice you dance? Mi amigo. Hey, you, mi amigo. Tú bailas, baila. Okay. So see that? You guys know how to conjugate a regular verb. Bailo, bailas, baila, bailamos, bailáis, bailan. With a reflexive verb, before I show you what that is, what do all of these verbs have in common? Anybody want to take a guess at the action that is being done? Anybody? I'm trying to get to the point of they all refer to what somebody's doing to themselves. When I shower myself. When I, oh yeah, no worries, Victor. When I and I didn't respond earlier to Leisure, no worries. Okay. When I brush my teeth, I'm brushing myself. I'm brushing my hair. I'm drying off my hair. I'm getting myself dressed. All of these things that one person is doing to oneself. That's a reflexive verb. Okay. Por ejemplo, Lucia lava la ropa. She's washing the clothes. Notice how it's a regular standard verb. She's not washing herself. She's washing something else, the clothes. Like she's not washing her dog. She's not washing her car. She's not washing whatever. She's washing the clothes. Lava la ropa. But suddenly now she's washing her hands. That's part of her. She's washing herself the hands. That's literally what that says. Lucia washes herself the hands. Now, could I say Lucia se lava sus manos? Remember, we learned sus, hers, her hands? Sure, I can do that. I can say Lucia se lava sus manos, but it's more common to use the direct object, the article, the. Okay, so we would say Lucia se lava las manos. If I were to say Lucia washes her face, I would say Lucia se lava la cara. She washes her hair. Lucia se lava el pelo. You see how that works? So let's take the bottom one. Sebastián pone el libro en la mesa. He puts the book on the table. Well, if he's going to put on a shirt, it's putting it on himself, his own body. So Sebastián se pone la ropa. Se pone. We have a couple questions here. What is the difference between se lava and lavarse? I will 100% answer that question, Amanda. Great question. Next question is, conjugation doesn't change. We just add the se before it. Oh, brilliant connection. None of the conjugations change. You conjugate it like a traditional verb, but you just add one element to it. So yes, all you have to do is add the se before it. That's it. That's it. If in addition to that question is, if we were to say we were not, does no go before or between the se? So this is how you would say it. These are, love these questions. Lucia no se lava. You would put the no before se lava. We can't break that marriage up. We can't say Lucia se no lava. Can't happen. Lucia no se lava las manos. Sebastián no se pone la ropa. Excelente. Muy buenas preguntas. And I will talk about the difference between se lava and lavarse throughout the next 15 minutes. And we'll clarify all of that doubt and question. Okay. So verbos reflexivos. Lavarse, lavar. So yo lavo, lavas, lava, lavamos, laváis, las. The only difference is adding that what's called a reflexive pronoun. So I'm no longer washing the car. I'm washing my hair, my teeth, my hands, my feet, whatever I want to wash. So in this case, la cara. So whenever you see in the dictionary, lavar se, it's indicating to the learner that it's a reflexive verb. Se is just the default pronoun. And that's because it's the third person pronoun. Él se lava, ella se lava, ellos se lavan, ellas se lavan. But if I'm going to say, I wash my face, I'm not going to use se. I'm not going to say yo se lavo. I'm going to use a different pronoun, me lavo, yo me lavo, tú te lavas. If I just said, yo lavo mi cara, that would be what's called second language interference. I would understand you, but it's way too much like English. I wash my face. I would have to say, I wash myself the face. And I know it's confusing, but that's the structure that's used. Yo me lavo la cara. Yo me lavo las manos. Yo me lavo el pelo. Okay? So we have me lavo, te lavas, se lava. Nos lavamos, os laváis, and se lavan. They wash their hair every night. Ellos se lavan el pelo todas las noches. Okay? All verbs do that are reflexive. Vamos a ver algunos ejemplos, okay? Entonces tenemos la diferencia, lavar. Can you guys see that? The only difference is adding that little teeny word before the verb. Me, te, se, nos, os, se. Now, don't get that me confused with the me that we use for gusta. Me gusta la pizza. I like pizza. That's a different type of pronoun. It's the same word, but it's identified as a different grammatical tool. So me lavo is a reflexive pronoun. Me gusta is an indirect object pronoun, but I just don't want you to get confused by those, okay? Yo me lavo, tú te lavas, okay? Vamos a ver algunos otros ejemplos aquí. Oh, before I show you some more examples, you guys have seen this before. You guys have already seen this before without realizing it. Check it out. Oh, don't, where did it go? No. There it is. ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo Adams. You're using a reflexive verb in that very first question that you learned in this class. ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? What do you call yourself? Isn't that interesting? What do you call yourself? I call myself Adams. Me llamo, or yo me llamo. I don't need the yo, optional. Me llamo Adams. You're using a reflexive verb. Me llamo Adams. Te llamas. So I would say my brother's name is Greg. Mi hermano se llama Greg. He calls himself Greg. Isn't that interesting? So we've seen that before in the very first day. ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo Grant. Me llamo Adams. Okay, excelente, perfecto. So vestirse, to get dressed. Quitarse la camisa, to take off the shirt. Ponerse la camisa, to put on the shirt. So we've got to take off the shirt, to put on the shirt, to get dressed. All these cool ways of expressing this. And sometimes we can have a verb like dormir, and if it's dormir without being reflexive, it means one thing. And when it is dormirse, reflexive, it's another thing. Not like the verb lavarse. Lavar, if I were to take a look at lavar again, lavar is to wash. So I either wash the car or I wash my face. It's still going to be to wash, whether it's reflexive or not. But with dormir, I'm going to have something unique. So vestir is to get dressed. Quitarse la camisa, to take off the shirt, to put on the shirt. Dormirse is to fall asleep, while dormir is to simply sleep. So here's how I would use that. I sleep 8 hours every night. Yo duermo 8 horas cada noche. I fall asleep every day in class. Yo me duermo todos los días en clase. Me duermo. So if I were to tell a student, hey, don't fall asleep, I would say no te duermas. But if I were to in general say, hey, don't sleep in my class, no duermas. So I would not use it. So to fall asleep and to sleep, there are a couple verbs that play that funny game. Okay. All right. Muy bien. It's like, for example, poner. Well, poner is to put on a shirt, to put a book on the table, still to put. Okay, muy bien, excelente. Vamos a seguir. Muchos ejemplos. Tengo una lista de muchos verbos para hablar de la rutina diaria, or daily routine. All of these cool verbs could be used to talk about what we traditionally do every day. And the discussion board that I have prepared for you for next week, that you're going to do by next Friday in April, at the April 4th or 5th, whenever Friday is, you're going to have to tell me what you do typically, and you're going to have to use reflexive verbs. So let me give you an example. I'm going to use a couple of these. Okay. Por la mañana, yo me afeito. Me afeito. También me baño con agua caliente. Or me ducho. There's a difference. Bañarse is to take a bath. Ducharse is to take a shower. But bañarse is really just to clean yourself up. So you can shower and use the word bañarse. You don't have to say ducharse. You can use bañarse even if you're standing in the shower. You can interchange these words if you're cleaning off your body with water and soap. Me lavo los dientes. También me peino. Me pongo la ropa, me visto, y voy al trabajo. So I'm using all of these reflexive verbs. I get dressed, I shower, I put on my clothes. These are all these cool reflexive words that we can incorporate in our daily routine. Un ejemplo aquí. Tenemos un ejemplo aquí. Me levanto temprano y me ducho enseguida. Enseguida is right away. Generalmente me lavo el pelo, luego me seco y me peino. So you got all these cool things. Me levanto temprano, I get up early, I shower right away. Generally, I wash my hair. Later on or afterwards, I dry and comb my hair. We don't have to repeat hair. We know that's what we're doing to it, right? You could say el pelo again, me seco y me peino el pelo, but it's kind of redundant because we used it in the sentence prior. Eloy, ¿tú te afeitas todos los días? Do you shave every day? Yo no me afeito todos los días. Yo me afeito cada 2 o 3 días. Yo personalmente me afeito. Jorge se levanta tarde. This is talking about Jorge. Jorge gets up late, se ducha rápidamente. He quickly showers, pero no se afeita. He does not shave. Se pone la ropa. He puts on his clothes. Y se peina. He combs his hair. Se peina. Peinarse, we know it's hair. We don't need to repeat hair because what else are you going to comb? I mean, I guess, yeah, it's a default. We're combing our hair. That's understood. Okay, excelente, excelente. Más ejemplos. Reflexive pronouns are normally, and this is where I'm going to answer some of your questions as far as where does that say go? Does it go before the verb, after the verb? What's the difference between se baña and bañarse? Well, here's the answer to that question. Reflexive pronouns are normally placed directly before a conjugated verb. I shower, me ducho. I can't say yo ducho me. Or I can't say yo ducharme. Can't do that. I have to, just like I can't say yo bailar, I to dance. I gotta conjugate the verb. Yo ducho, yo me ducho. Before they, let's see here, but they may be attached at the end of an infinitive verb. How do I get that? Well, here are some examples. Me gusta afeitarme primero y luego bañarme. Remember at the beginning of the class today, I said when that first verb, like prefiero, came up, is conjugated, the next verb is not. So I prefer to dance. Yo prefiero bailar, not yo prefiero bailo. So in this case, me gusta, gusta is the verb, it's already conjugated. That next verb, non-conjugated. Me gusta afeitarme. It's kind of a little funny here because these two me's are different types of me's. It pleases me to shave myself. That's really what you're saying. Me gusta afeitarme primero. I like to shave first. And then luego bañarme. The reason why we didn't conjugate that is because we're still basing it off of what we like to do. No need to conjugate it. Omar va a levantarse. Notice how we have this word va. We're going to explain what structure that is in a little bit later today. But that's going to come up a little later. But it's got one verb, it's ir, to go, and then levantarse and bañarse. So Omar is going to get up and going to take a bath immediately. So when two verbs are together, that's how we can go ahead and attach it to the infinitive and not go before the verb. Now, here's the beautiful thing, and I don't want to confuse you with this. If I have two verbs, like we have va a levantarse, I technically, if I wanted to, which I do often, I can take this se and put it before both of the verbs. So it can sound like this. Omar se, as a separate word, va a levantar. That's equivalent to va a levantarse. When there's two verbs, I have two options. Let me give you another example. I want to shave. I can either say, quiero afeitarme, or me quiero afeitar. See how I did that? I prefer to shower in the morning. I could say, prefiero ducharme por la mañana, or me prefiero duchar por la mañana. Do we see how we did that? So those two options there. It doesn't show you here, but you can totally do that. Here we have estoy lavándome los dientes. This is again two verbs. I am brushing my teeth. Could I put the me before estoy? Sure. I could say me estoy lavando. Me estoy lavando los dientes. Or estoy lavándome. This is kind of advanced grammar because we're using what's called the present participle. But that's okay. It's an example of how you can attach it. And then lastly, when we've got this preposition here before, antes de, you have to use the infinitive. I know there's no other verb, but it's a preposition that requires you to leave it unconjugated. Before showering, and it's confusing because in English we say before showering. In Spanish, it's literally saying before of to shower me. So it comes out difficult. Antes de ducharme, comma, me quito la ropa. Antes de ducharme, comma, me quito la ropa. Before showering, before I shower, I take off my clothes. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to show you a paragraph that I wrote. It's not in the textbook. I just tried to write a paragraph with a bunch of uses of the same verb with a reflexive, where it's before the verb or after the verb, or in between the verb and all the above. So if you're confused at any of this explanation, this is where you need to go back to this video, whatever time we're in. It looks like we're 6:50, almost an hour into the lesson, and rewatch this part, because here I'm going to give you a variety of ways of writing it. Okay. So we're going to use the word bañarse, to bathe, to take a shower, to clean yourself in the shower, whether you're showering or whether you're sitting in a bathtub. Either way, you're cleaning your body. So tú, now I don't have to use tú, but I'm going to use tú a lot just to show you what I'm conjugating it into. Okay. But in reality, if I just said te bañas, that would be sufficient. Okay. Tú te bañas todos los días. You take a bath every day. There's no other verb. There's no other preposition. There's no untouched thing. It's just the verb itself. Te bañas. I can't say bañarte. I have to conjugate it. Tú te bañas. You bathe every day. I have a verb here. Tú necesitas. No, I don't conjugate it. Bañarte. Tú necesitas bañarte. Okay? Tú necesitas. Now, I could say tú te necesitas bañar. Remember, I said there's two options. I can put the pronoun before the verb combination or attach it to the verb combination. Those are two sentences are exactly the same. Necesitas bañarte, te necesitas bañar. Okay? Hopefully I'm not losing any of you. I got a couple questions. Let's see here. Is me similar to adding ing in English, just like mente? No, that's a great question. Yes, mente is like when we have an adverb like slowly or softly or quickly, rápidamente. The ly is like the mente. That's a connection there from English to Spanish. But no, the me is not like adding ing. Like if I said after showering, that doesn't mean that may is like saying ing. No, it's just in English. I can't really explain why we do it that way in English. Honestly, that structure in English is very confusing. It should say after I shower, which you can say, but after showering, for a person learning English as a second language, it is crazy difficult to understand why we say it like that. But no, there's no connection on the me with the ing at all. Okay. So tú debes, you should, once again, just like necesitas, we're going to go ahead and say bañarte, but I can also say tú te debes bañar por la noche. You should shower at night. Okay. Two different sentences, two different auxiliary verbs, necesitas and debes. One is you need to take a bath. One is you should take a bath, which another thing in English is difficult. I want to shower. I need to shower. I prefer to shower. I should to shower. No, it's not to shower. I should shower. Why do I take out the to? See, there's no consistency in English. That's confusing, right? In Spanish, consistency. Tú necesitas bañarte. Tú debes bañarte. So that consistency is there. Tú te cepillas los dientes. You brush your teeth. Now, I intentionally wrote that in there, already conjugated. Tú te cepillas. Afterwards, comma, notice that there's no de. There's no de. It's just después, comma. So I'm saying step by step. This is what I do next, next, next. Después, te bañas. So you brush your teeth. Afterwards, comma, you take a bath. Now, the next sentence is the kicker. The next sentence is difficult. You brush your teeth after bathing. And that's that question that came up of saying, is may have anything to do with ing? This is that preposition, antes de, before, después de, after, and has that de in there. That's when we can go ahead and do this, bañarte, without conjugating it. I really need you to see the difference of después, comma, or después de. So the two sentences sound like this in English. You brush your teeth, period. Afterwards, comma, you bathe. Next sentence. You brush your teeth after bathing. You see the two different sentences? You brush your teeth after bathing. You brush your teeth, period. Afterwards, you bathe. Very two different structures. So if you need to rewind this video, rewatch what I'm explaining again, you can definitely do so. So right here we have después de. There's no después comma. It's después de. So I leave the verb unconjugated. After bathing, comma, you brush your teeth. So three ways of saying that. After you brush, no, you brush your teeth, period. Afterwards, you bathe. You brush your teeth after bathing. After bathing, comma, you brush your teeth. Those are the three sentences. Tú cepillas los dientes mientras. Uh-oh, that word while. You brush your teeth while you bathe. So that mientras breaks it up and we're allowed to conjugate the verb again. That's not the preposition antes de or después de. You're literally saying you brush your teeth while you bathe. Okay. Hopefully that explanation allowed us to clarify how we line this up. Okay. Vamos a ver, vamos a practicar, chicos. Ok, necesito practicar un poquito. Vamos a practicar un poquito. Ok. ¿Cuál es la oración que mejor describe cada par de dibujos? Okay. I'm going to show you a sentence. And you're going to simply write the number on what those pictures are referring to. Okay, you just simply type in the number, very quick, right? Type in the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Perfecto. Okay. There's another question that came up before I continue. Does it depend where you are, like Mexico versus Spain, for preference on the sentence structure? Basically using tú necesitas bañarte versus tú te necesitas bañar. Man, you guys are so awesome. These questions are fabulous. I love these questions. They're really good questions. No, it doesn't. Every country is going to have the same option. There's no, in fact, I don't even know the percentage of breakdown on what's used more. Is it necesitas bañarte or te necesitas bañar? I mean, I'm going to say 50-50. I've heard them both many times in many countries, but no, it's not countries to specific on which way one person leans on the use, whether it's before or after. I like to put it before because it sounds like I know what I'm doing in Spanish, but it doesn't matter. That's a great question. Great question. Okay, perfecto. Okay, frase número 1, la frase A. ¿Qué número es la frase A? Okay, el niño se baña después de bañar al perro. Okay, excelente, excelente. Excelente, muy bien. Sí, excelente. 3, letra A, 3. Okay, so notice what happened here. El niño se baña. The boy takes a bath after bathing the dog. Now notice it's not reflexive because he's not bathing himself. He's bathing the dog. And it's not conjugated because it's after the expression after, después de, not afterwards. Afterwards, comma is different. This is just after bathing the dog. Excelente. We have one use of reflexive, one use of non-reflexive. Muy bien, clase. Okay, letra B. ¿Qué número es letra B? Él se quita la camisa, pero ella se pone los zapatos de tenis. Oh, I'll answer your question in just a second, Chris. Okay, excelente. All right, you guys are awesome. Okay, so así que número dos. Él se quita la camisa, pero ella se pone los zapatos de tenis. So he takes off his shirt, but she, now we've got breaking up sentences here. We're adding another pronoun so we can conjugate it, but she puts on her tennis shoes. Now I'm going to go back to this one because there was a beautiful question. Oh, shoot. Oh, my goodness. Beautiful question right here. Is it al perro? Is it supposed to be a or el? I'm gonna go ahead and type it into everybody here. So is it bañar el perro versus bañar al perro? I'm gonna answer this in twofold. I'm gonna say both, but I'm gonna say al is more correct. Here's the deal. There's something called a personal a. So if I say I visit my mother, I would have to say yo visito a mi madre. If I say I bathe my 1-year-old, right? I bathe my daughter. So I would say yo baño a mi hija. I'd have to have that personal a there. The biggest debate in the world is, do animals require the personal a? And the overall sentiment is, in general, animals do not. So if I say I see a lion at the zoo. If I say I see my friend, yo veo a mi amigo. But if I say I see a lion, yo veo un león. I wouldn't say a un león. But here's the but. Here's the but. If the animal is our domesticated animal, our pet, we personify them. We pretend like they're a member of our family, and we can justify the personal a. So if I've got Fluffy in front of me that I'm bathing, and he's like my little son, I can say baño a mi perro, al perro. So a and el makes al. It's a conjunction there. A, el, al. So after the boy bathes the dog, it's his dog, personifying it. So hopefully I answered your question there. That one. Okay, perfecto. All right. Say, la muchacha se maquilla antes de cepillarse el pelo. La muchacha se maquilla antes. Yeah, good, Chris. I agree. Perfecto. La muchacha se maquilla antes de cepillarse el pelo. Okay, muy bien, excelente, perfecto. That is a typo. We've got la muchacha se maquilla. I'm going to fix that right in front of you because that's going to drive me nuts. I cut and pasted that, but I didn't change it. All right, so se maquilla. There we go. Antes de lavarse el pelo. Good catch there. I like to correct that live in front of you for video purposes. Okay, excelente. La muchacha se maquilla antes de cepillar el pelo. She puts on makeup before brushing her hair. So we got the antes de, before brushing her hair. Antes. Now, when I have the preposition antes de or después de, I cannot put the se before the verb. When it's in its infinitive form, in any situation, I cannot put it before the verb. I can only do that if I've got the two verb situation. So antes de cepillarse, I have to attach it to the verb. Okay, siguiente. Let's go with this one again, okay? Este hombre se ducha por la mañana, pero la niña se baña por la noche. Este hombre se ducha, pero, a ver, ok, excelente, excelente. How do you type in el número uno rápido? Excelente. Ok, excelente, sí. This man, este hombre, se ducha por la mañana, he showers in the morning, pero la niña se baña por la noche. Got it, se baña por la noche. So she takes a bath at night. Okay. Siguiente. Él se afeita la cara, pero su esposa se afeita las piernas. Excelente, excelente. Ok, todos dijeron número 4. Perfecto, número 4. Muy bien, excelente, número 4. Él se afeita la cara, he shaves his face, but his wife shaves her legs. Excelente. Ok, muy bien. Siguiente. Se acuesta a las 11:30 y se levanta a las 6. Excelente. F es número 5. Excelente. Número 5. Perfecto. Se acuesta a las 11:30. He goes to bed. Now, acostarse is to lie down. But what do? I'm going to bed. Me acuesto. What time do you lie down? Technically go to bed, right? So he goes to bed at 11:30. Se acuesta. He lies down 11:30. Y se levanta. Now, if you want to clarify, because a lot of individuals like to lie down, but they don't necessarily sleep. They watch TV, chat with somebody, or on their phone, whatever you do. So if you did want to clarify and say, oh, yeah, I lie down at 11, but I fall asleep at 12, you can always say something like that. But if I just say, me acuesto a las 11, I'm lying down for the idea of going to bed at that specific time. Se acuesta a las 11:30 y se levanta a las 6 and gets up at 6. Excelente. Él solo duerme 6 horas y media. Él necesita dormir más. Él necesita dormir más. Nosotros debemos dormir 8 horas cada noche. Es importante. Okay? Okay, muy bien. Let's talk about questions, okay? Hay algunas preguntas, questions about reflexive verbs. Once again, you can always go back and look at these slides and or the video lesson. Excelente, muy bien. No. Perfecto, perfecto. Okay. Questions. You've already seen a handful of questions. ¿Cómo se llama? ¿Dónde vives? ¿Cuándo blank? Eres. In fact, there was a question, ¿Cuándo nació Lucia? On one of your tests. You had calendars and dates. And I know that we are not using the past tense, but you're able to see those question words, those interrogative words. Normally, we've got a structure involved. We've got the subject, the verb, the object, the adjective. When we have a question, sometimes those structures and syntax change. Negative statements are formed by simply putting a no in front of the verb. So, Ana Sofía no tiene hijos. Juan Fernando no es alto. So we're going to start talking about how we form questions with all of those in mind. Now, keep in mind, we usually don't have to use the subject. Like, hey, tú tienes un móvil nuevo? Do you have a new cell phone? I don't need to say tú. Hey, ¿tienes tú? No. Unless I'm talking to a group of friends and I'm picking you out. Say, hey, you, ¿tienes tú? Normally. But if it's a third person, él, ella, etc., sometimes we might want to clarify. ¿Dónde vive ella? ¿Dónde vive María? ¿Qué idiomas hablan ustedes? What languages do you guys speak? Because I might want to point out who you are, you guys. So sometimes it's warranted to put the pronoun. Questions are usually formed by placing the subject after the verb. So you've got es joven Jorge. Notice in English it's saying, is Jorge young? And I even mentioned it last week, I believe, that the question the subject goes at the end usually. ¿Es joven Jorge? ¿Eres trabajadora, Stefania? Are you a hard worker, Stefania? ¿Tienes hermanos, Ana Sofia? Do you have siblings, Ana Sofia? Now in English, it's different. Ana Sofia, do you have brothers and sisters? So you see that word order is different. ¿Quieres tú? We don't necessarily need to say tú, but ¿quieres tú un móvil nuevo, un nuevo móvil para el día de tu cumpleaños? Do you want a new cell phone? Nació en Julio Ramadés. Was Julio born in July? So you see that the subject always goes at the tail end. If you're adding the subject, if I just say, ¿de dónde eres? Where are you from? I don't have to say, ¿de dónde eres tú? But if it's warranted, we put it afterwards. Now, obviously there's formality in play. Tú, usted. So when you're asking a friend, you're going to use tú, tienes. Los ojos castaños, do you have brown eyes? Do? And when asking a person that's a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, somebody older than you, a stranger you've never met, definitely older than you, you're going to default with usted. Profesor Sotomayor, ¿es usted casado? Are you married? ¿Es usted casado? Okay, muy bien, excelente. These are just things that pop up when we're forming questions. I actually showed you this slide on lesson 2, slide 8. If you wanted to go back to that lesson, you can always access that. But here's some sample questions. ¿Cuántos hermanos tienes, Eloy? ¿Dónde vive Ana Sofía? ¿Cuándo nació usted? ¿Por qué no hablamos inglés en clase? ¿Qué prefieres hacer esta noche? ¿Cuál es más bonito? ¿De quién es este libro? What I recommend you doing is taking these interrogative words, these question-related words, and creating your own questions out of them. Practice with whether it's a classmate or a friend or family that's familiar with Spanish, and practice asking back and forth. Hey, ¿cuándo quieres bailar? When do you want to dance? ¿Quién es la profesora de matemáticas? ¿Dónde vives? And try, ¿por qué comes a las 6 de la mañana? Try formulating your own questions. That's how we're going to really learn them. Okay. Muy bien. Now, as we learn in chapter 1, answers yes or no questions are regular statements preceded by a sí or a no. Here's the thing though. In Spanish, we often don't use a word that we would use in English in a question format, like does or do. Vive Omar en Ecuador? So notice I'm saying, does Omar live in Ecuador? Does Omar live in Ecuador? A lot of my students say, Professor Adams, how do I say do? Like, do you live here? Well, it doesn't exist. Do or does. I know in English, if you looked up, ¿cómo se dice does in Spanish? You'd find the word hacer, to do, hacer. ¿Qué haces? What are you doing? But in a question, that do or does is invisible. Vive is just like, for example, if I asked, do you dance? Literally, this is how I ask it. Do you dance would be typing it in right now. That's it right there. That's it. And my intonation will indicate a question. ¿Bailas? That's it. ¿Bailas? Do you dance? ¿Bailas? Yes, I dance. Sí, bailo. Do you dance salsa? ¿Bailas salsa? Sí, yo bailo salsa. Do you swim every morning? ¿Nadas cada mañana? Sí, nado cada mañana. So that do or does is invisible. Sí, Omar vive. ¿Tienes un Prius negro? Franklin, does Franklin have a black Prius? Does. In Spanish, it's not there. ¿Tiene un Prius? Your friend Franklin? ¿Tiene un Prius? Does he have this type of car? No, Franklin no tiene un Prius negro. No, tiene un Prius verde. He's got a green car, a green Prius. ¿Es delgada Lucia? Is Lucia thin? Well, that actually shows a yes or no, but there's no does in there. That's fine. Sí, Lucia es delgada. ¿Hablan español ellas? No, no hablan. So I think that's very interesting how some things are worded in English versus Spanish. Okay, perfecto. Preguntas. Like I said, I'm throwing a lot of information at you. A lot of information coming at you. A ver. Muy bien, excelente. This is going to serve you well when you do the Connect homework, because a lot of my students start doing the Connect work and they're like, whoa, 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 this, I don't know why don't they use does or do? It's very confusing. That's why I like to talk about what you're going to experience. So after tomorrow, we start the next module 10, and you'll get into all this information. Okay, más verbos. Preferir y querer. Preferir y querer. Okay. Preferir y querer, two auxiliary verbs. Yo prefiero, yo quiero, words that express want and desire. I prefer to eat steak. I want to go to Morton's. Whatever my sentence is, it's a verb that usually connects with another verb. And that first verb, preferir or querer, is conjugated. Por ejemplo, Omar quiere hablar por teléfono, pero yo prefiero textear. Now, that word textear did not exist a handful of years ago. It's a very brand new word to the Spanish vernacular. Omar wants to talk on the phone, but I prefer to text. Quiero hablar, quiere hablar, queremos hablar, etc. Prefiero, prefieres, prefiere textear. So we've got these two verbs in play. Let's go ahead and see them used right here. And can anybody see the little shift that's happening? This is called a stem change. It's a stem changing verb. One of your first true stem changing verbs. You have seen other verbs that make a change, like tener. Yo tengo 50 años. Tú tienes 16 años. That's a stem changing verb, but these are pure stem changing verbs. The E to the IE. Prefiero, prefieres, prefiere. Now, notice how the we and the you guys in Spain, vosotros, they do not stem change. In fact, if I were to write out, let me go ahead and get out of this slide here. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing this. I'm going to share something else. If I were to do this, let's go ahead and take this whiteboard here. Okay. And I were to go ahead and type in, let's go ahead and draw something here. We got this boot right here. Okay. If I were to write quiero, quieres, quiere, and then I would go queremos, queréis, quieren. So we've got our word here, and sorry, I cannot write with this. Should probably have typed it out. But you've got the word quiero here with our stem change. All of the words inside this boot have a stem change. That's why some people call these boot verbs. Quiero, quieres, quiere, and then quieren. Right here, the we and the vosotros, I'm going to just write vosotros, queremos, queréis don't have it. So these are always outside this boot. Okay. Those are called boot verbs. And you might see them in websites or textbooks. They're called shoe verbs or boot verbs. And that's what they refer to. Okay. Muy bien, excelente. Así que vamos a ver. Excelente. You can also use querer and preferir with infinives to talk about future actions. And this is what I like. We're going to talk about future here. Quiero ir a la casa de mi abuela. I want to go to my grandmother's house. Hasn't happened yet. I want to go tomorrow. I want to go next week. Prefiero mañana. Prefiero ir mañana. I prefer to go tomorrow in the afternoon. So even this is the present tense, I'm implying an activity in the future. This is not a true future tense, but I want to go to the movies tomorrow, something that has not happened yet. But we're going to practice these verbs throughout all of next week in different activities. Okay. Pensar en tener ganas de, and ir. So let's finish off our strange verb list here, okay? The most common way of expressing our future, as we were mentioning, is by using the verb ir. We have ir plus the letter A and then another verb. So we're going to conjugate the verb ir and then use it with another verb. So basically what I would be saying is, in this first example, ¿Qué vas a hacer mañana? What are you going to do tomorrow? Now that implies the future. What are you going to do tomorrow? The answer, I am going to ski. Notice how we have this little A connecting both verbs. Querer didn't do that. Preferir didn't do that. The word pensar right below here doesn't do that. The word necesitar doesn't do that. So I would say, quiero esquiar. Necesito esquiar. Pienso esquiar. Prefiero esquiar. But the verb ir, when I conjugate it into its variety of conjugations, I have to connect it with the letter A. Some verbs do that. Some verbs require this glue, this grammar glue for some example. It doesn't translate to anything, by the way. So if I say, I want to read, or I'm going to read, voy a leer, I'm going to dance, voy a bailar. And it's pronounced boy like B-O-Y. Boy, the V and the B have the same exact pronunciation. Voy a bailar, voy a leer, voy a comer. I'm going to eat at 3 tomorrow. We're going to see a list of all of those conjugations in just a second. ¿Qué piensan hacer ustedes? What do you guys plan to do? You're going to get very familiar with this word hacer. What do you plan to do this weekend? I want to point out one thing, and a lot of my students do this for some reason. When they answer this question, ¿qué piensan hacer? They often take hacer and put it in their answer. So they would say something like this. Nosotros hacemos, pensamos. And I'm like, no, you don't need to repeat the verb hacer. What do you plan to do? We plan to go to the movies. You don't need to repeat to do. It's like saying, what are you doing? The answer, I am listening to music. I wouldn't say I to do am listening to music. So you don't need to repeat the word to do in the answer. Pensamos ir al cine. We plan to go to the movies. Third little use of something in the future. ¿Qué tienen ganas de hacer Rodrigo y Sebastián? What do Rodrigo and Sebastián feel like doing? This whole tener ganas is a set phrase. So you have to take the word tener and conjugate it and apply the word ganas. It means to want or feel like doing. Like, I feel like reading. Tengo ganas de, and we connect it with de, like the word ir is with a. Tengo ganas de jugar. Tengo ganas de leer. Tengo ganas de bailar. Man, I feel like dancing. Tengo ganas de bailar. Wow, I feel like singing. Tengo ganas de cantar. I'm enthusiastic about doing something is pretty much what it's saying. Tengo ganas de jugar basketball. I feel like playing basketball. So I have these 3 new expressions. One requires glue, voy a. Another one, tengo ganas de. Those are 2 unique scenarios, okay? Now, tengo ganas de plus the infinitive is to feel like doing something. So, ¿qué tienes ganas de hacer el viernes por la noche? What do you feel like doing? Notice how hacer is non-conjugated. ¿Qué tienes ganas de hacer el viernes por la noche? What do you feel like doing on Friday at night? That is a mouthful. Just, you're going to have to add salt, pepper, and let that simmer for a bit. ¿Qué tienes ganas de hacer? And then a timestamp. El viernes por la noche. I feel like going to the movies with you. Tengo ganas de ir al cine contigo. What if I were to say, you know what? I'm planning on going to the movies. You don't need to say with you. Just, I'm planning on going to the movies. Yo pienso ir al cine? What if I want to say I'm going to the movies? Yo voy a ir al cine. I'm going to go to the movies. So if I wanted to take a look at that verb right there, to go, let's go ahead and look at it in detail. Oh, that's pensar. Oh, sorry. I jumped the gun on that. Here's an intro to them, all three of them. Then we're going to go through each one of them slowly. So pensar, it's another stem change. Pienso, I'm planning on doing something. Pienso leer, I'm planning on reading. Piensas leer, you plan to read. Piensa leer, he plans to read. Pensamos leer, pensáis leer. And then another stem change in the last part. Piensan leer, they or you guys plan to read. So pensar is to plan to do something, but it also means to think. Like, what do you think about this? ¿Qué piensas? What do you think about it? So it's all context clues. So pensar could be to think or to plan to do something. It's all about context. Hey, what do you think about Spanish? ¿Qué piensas de español? Versus, ¿piensas hablar español? Do you plan to speak Spanish? So that planning to do something that requires that verb, that action. ¿Qué piensas hacer? Versus ¿qué piensas? What do you think about this? Versus what do you plan to do after class? Now we've got the verb ir. Once again, you connect it with the letter a if it's going to do something. Going to. I can simply say I go to the beach, voy a la playa, or I go to the movies, voy al cine. But if I say I'm going to read or I'm going to run, voy a leer, voy a correr. Voy, vas, va, vamos, vais, van. This is a word that I really want you guys to memorize. This is a word that's going to be used in daily Spanish speaking. And this is the first time seeing all of the conjugations. Boy, that's why this lesson is very important. And I know it's not an exciting night. It's very boring, but it's a lot of pertinent information for your Spanish growth. Voy, vas, va, vamos, vais, van. Hey, they are going to travel. Ellos van a viajar. She is going to study. Ella va a estudiar. Okay. So to go is ir. And then we've got a question here. Somebody's got a question. Okay. Yes, that is a great observation. The word ir does not have an accent mark in any of the conjugations. So because I know that in other conjugations, the use of vosotros requires an accent mark, but this no accent mark required whatsoever. Very good observation. Okay. ¿Qué vas a hacer esta noche? What are you going to do tonight? Voy a estudiar. Voy a estudiar. Excelente. Okay. Let's see here. One last thing that I want to go over, and then I'm going to ask for examples, and I apologize that it's been a lengthy explanation here. It's very important though. Okay. So the asking, where are you going? A donde? Look at that little A in front of it. A donde? A donde? The reason why I put a donde in front of that donde is because I'm actually saying, to where are you going? Because my answer is going to be, I'm going to the beach. And in English, you can actually talk like that. To where are you going? But nobody talks like that. Where are you going? That's the standard question. But technically, I could say, to where are you going? I'm going to the beach. So I have voy a la playa. Now notice I don't have another verb. I don't have to worry about a future activity. Now, if I say I'm going to swim at the beach, that's different. Voy a nadar en la playa. But voy a la playa, to the beach. If I said I'm going to the movies, I have to take a and el and put it together and make al. Now, you saw that before with the little boy washing his dog, because that was a personal a with the the article el. This is a that's a prepositional with el, but the same phenomena happens. When I got the and the el together, it morphs into al. So if I go to, we go to our job, vamos al trabajo versus a la biblioteca, to the library, to the job. So if it's a masculine noun, el trabajo, el cine, we have to combine it with al. Now, of course, I've got some additional information that I'm using here in this sentence here. To express ir a in a location can be used to express time to indicate when you are going. We've got a little, I'd like to call them time stamps. So, esta noche, este viernes, este fin de semana, and we're utilizing our demonstrative adjectives from last week. This evening, which is tonight, this Friday, this weekend, this spring. I can also say the next Saturday or the next week or the next month or the next year. And these can be applied to anything like vamos a la playa el próximo año. We are going to the beach next year. Now I want to write a sample sentence in the text to show you something. So I could say we are going, vamos a la playa. Okay. And I could say next Saturday. Sure, why not? El próximo sábado. So what is the difference between that sentence that I just typed in the text, vamos a la playa el próximo sábado, versus vamos a ir a la playa el próximo sábado? So I've got two sentences there. Let's analyze what happened. One is we are going to the beach next Saturday. You can use a present tense verb and imply the future. You can say, I'll call you tonight. Te llamo esta noche. Hasn't happened yet, but it's a present tense verb. So I go to the beach could also be, I'm going to the beach next Saturday. Or I could literally say, we are going to go to the beach, just like in English. We're going to the beach next Saturday. We are going to go to the beach next Saturday. Aren't those two sentences very similar? We are going to the beach. We are going to go to the beach. We are going to the beach. We are going to go to the beach. That same thing can happen in Spanish. We're going to the beach next Saturday. We're going to go to the beach. Yep, there you go. Beautiful. Good answer. Good answer. Excelente, Amanda. Okay. Muy bien. Excelente. Vamos al restaurante. La próxima es okay. Vamos. Okay. That's just a couple examples. Excelente. Ahora, ustedes. I need to see some examples. I need to see some examples. I got 4 beautiful questions. Let's start with the first one on the left. ¿Qué quieres hacer mañana? What do you want to do tomorrow? I want a complete sentence. What do you want to do tomorrow? ¿Qué quieres hacer mañana? I want some sample, wonderful sample sentences. How can I respond to that? How can I rewrite that? In English, I would say, I want to read tomorrow. I want to go for a walk tomorrow. I want to eat pizza tomorrow. I want to have a beer tomorrow. What? I mean, it's Friday. Gotta loosen up a bit. What is okay? Good. Quiero dormir mañana. Okay. Muy buen ejemplo. Muy buen ejemplo. Okay. Okay. ¿Qué quieres hacer mañana? Quiero descansar después del trabajo. Wow, that's a beautiful answer. Quiero descansar. I want to rest after work. Después del trabajo. Excelente. Muy bien. Otros ejemplos. Quiero viajar mañana. Muy bien, Víctor. Quiero viajar mañana. I want to travel tomorrow. Excelente. Más ejemplos. Let's do this. These are great examples. Great examples. I'm going to shift the chat over here. Excelente, excelente. Quiero ir al gimnasio mañana. Good. I want to go to the gym, and you put a el al gimnasio. Look at that. Quiero ir al gimnasio mañana. Great sentence. Anybody else? Quiero ir al gimnasio mañana. Now, I started my sentence off with mañana, but you don't have to. Quiero nadar. Good, Josh. Excelente. You don't have to say mañana at the beginning. I could have said at the end either way. I just typed it out that way. Mañana quiero nadar or quiero nadar mañana. Probably is better at the end. It flows better off the tongue. That's fine. In fact, I'll go ahead and change that for the fun of it. Quiero blank mañana. Okay, I went ahead and updated the master slide. So that will be able to see that in post. Good. So quiero, good. Quiero comer en un restaurante mañana. Great. Quiero caminar después del trabajo. Quiero nadar. These are great examples. Excelente. Yo quiero descansar. Yo quiero ir al cine. Yo también quiero dar un paseo, go for a walk, dar un paseo con mi esposa. Okay, número dos. Vamos con número dos. ¿Qué? I believe I have the top right of the next one. Yes. ¿Qué prefieres hacer por la mañana? Now, I know I didn't specify a day, so we'll say tomorrow. Tomorrow for the in the morning, because that means in the morning. What do you prefer to do in the morning? Or any morning. Let's just say any random morning. ¿Qué prefieres hacer por la mañana? What do you prefer to do in the morning? In general. ¿Qué prefieres hacer por la mañana? Okay. Prefiero dormir hasta mañana, pero tengo que trabajar. Now, hasta mañana is I prefer to sleep until tomorrow. But I have to work. Pero tengo que trabajar. Wow, the fact that you put tengo que trabajar, you remembered that tengo and trabajar requires that glue que. I brought that up a while ago. It's good that you use that. Prefiero leer. Yo también. Yo prefiero leer. Prefiero dormir hasta tarde. Yes, I prefer to sleep late. Hasta muy tarde, ¿no? Yo prefiero tomar un café. I prefer to have a coffee. Prefiero tomar un café. Yo prefiero estudiar italiano. I prefer to study Italian, another language, and Spanish, of course. Prefiero ir al gimnasio. Good. Yo también. Prefiero ir al gimnasio. Good. Excelente. Prefiero blank. Prefiero estudiar. Prefiero dormir. Prefiero ir al gimnasio. Prefiero leer. Prefiero comer. Excelente. Siguiente. ¿Qué vas? Ok, yo prefiero beber mi café temprano para ayudarme a despertar. Wow, that is a beautiful sentence. And that's another verb. Ayudar with despertar requires the glue. Some words require it, some words don't. Very good sentence. Okay. ¿Qué vas a hacer este viernes? What are you going to do? Notice it's vas a hacer. What are you going to do this Friday? ¿Qué vas a hacer este viernes? ¿Qué vas a hacer este viernes? Okay, got some people typing in some answers. Here we go. Vamos, vamos. ¿Qué vas a hacer este viernes? Waiting for some answers. Okay. Don't forget the A. Voy a ir al cine con mi hija y mi esposo. Me parece divertido. Yo también voy a ir al cine. Voy a nadar. Okay, I like the voy a nadar. I'm going to swim. I'm not sure why you wrote conocer though. So that's a little confusing, Josh. Conocer. Voy a nadar. I'm going to swim. Okay, excelente. Come on, a couple more. See some of you typing it out. Good. Voy a descansar en mi casa. I'm going to rest at my house. Beautiful. Excelente. Excelente, Ariana. Voy a casa. Okay, that should be casa, right? De unos amigos. Oh, there you go. Thank you for the correction. Voy a casa. That's fine. You can say it like that. Voy a casa or voy a la casa de unos amigos. Voy a la casa is probably a little bit more accurate because when I say voy a casa, it's usually saying like yo voy a casa, like I'm going home. I'm going to my home. ¿A dónde vas? Voy a casa. Meaning I'm going to my home. So it's better to put voy a la casa de unos amigos. Okay. Voy a ir. Now careful, Carter. Let's add a little a in between the ir and las, which by the way, those are different irs. So if I say voy a ir a las montañas, those are different A's. Voy a ir, that A is just glue. And then the second A is the word tu, like to in English. I'm going to go to the mountains. I'm going to go to the mountains. Voy a una competencia de natación. Good. That's a correct sentence. Yes. I'm going to a swimming competition. Good. Voy a ir a las montañas y okay. I like that. Once again, you got to throw in. If you're going to go y, you got to do another a. So, voy a ir a las montañas y a acampar. I know that sounds confusing, but it's like saying I'm going to go and to camp, but you have to combine it again with another a. So, voy a ir a la escuela y a whatever you're going to say. Okay. Voy a ir, okay. These are great examples. One last question. Here we go. Este viernes voy a blank. ¿Qué piensas hacer el sábado? ¿Qué piensas hacer el sábado? ¿Qué piensas hacer el sábado? A ver. Okay. Yo pienso el sábado. Just correcting the sentence because I noticed I cut and pasted it and it didn't. Yo pienso blank. Okay. Got some sentences coming up here. Let me go ahead and exit out of it. Sorry about that. And I'm going to refresh it again because I wanted to change it live in front of you because I had an error. I spotted it before I showed it to you. Okay, so, ¿qué piensas hacer el sábado? A ver, vamos, muchos ejemplos. Quiero ver algunos ejemplos. ¿Qué piensas hacer el sábado? ¿Qué piensas hacer el sábado? Okay, voy a trabajar en el jardín. Now, I like that for the last question, voy a trabajar, but if that's referring to the very last question, let's use, good, excelente, Amanda. Pienso ir, okay, the Sacramento Republic. Oh, con mi hijo, that sounds extremely fun. Now, when we go ahead and use the word pensar, we're not going to go ahead and use that glue. The pienso, it's just pienso ir. Pienso ir, and football is the name of a sport, but we've got to say like to a sporting event, a game, partido, for example. So pienso ir al partido de football would sound more authentic. So that's what we would probably say. Pienso ir al partido de fútbol. That would sound beautiful right there. Pienso ir al café y autos, entonces ir a trabajar. Pienso ir al café y autos. Is there a coffee shop called? I plan to go to a coffee shop and cars, then to go to work. I would use después instead of entonces. So después ir a trabajar. Entonces, use después, afterwards. Voy a dormir hasta la tarde. Let's make sure, Josh, we use pienso. Pienso, and Shannon, we don't need that a in there. It's just pienso ir a trabajar. A trabajar is good, but the pienso ir, we want to drop that a. Pienso ver, no need to put a, it's just ver la televisión, not a la televisión, Andrés. It's just pienso ver la televisión. Pienso ir a Tijuana a visitar a mi mamá. That's beautiful. I've been, Nicole, to Tijuana, I'm going to say 25 times. I'm guessing between 20 and 30 times. I used to go down there for work quite a bit. Pienso ir a Tijuana. And if you know this, Nicole, there is a singer called Thalia. No, that's not her. Who was it? She sings música ranchera. What is her name? I'll remember it just a second. I met her at a bar. It was a dance club. I was having a drink with a friend, and she was there with her crew. I walked up to her and asked for her autograph. What is her name?
Is she from Tijuana?
Yeah, no, she's from Mexico. She's not specifically from Tijuana. Hold on. It's back in, this is back in the 90s, so it was a long time ago. Before the class is over, I'll remember. I promise you I'll remember. Oh, Olga Tañón.
Oh,
Olga
okay.
Tañón.
Yeah. I know her.
Yeah, she's probably around my age, to be honest, right now. But back then, young, good-looking young lady. Okay. Pienso ir a Tijuana. Okay. Cars and coffee events. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, got it. Okay. Pienso ir a trabajar en el jardín. Beautiful. Excelente. Pienso dormir todo el día. No need to put al día, Chris. Just el día. All the day. Todo el día. Okay, perfecto. Aplauso. Muy buenos ejemplos, clase. Muy buenos ejemplos. Yo pienso ir al cine con mi hija. Yo pienso ver una película, etc. Ok, muy bien, excelente. Ok, son las 7:48. Son las 7:48. We don't have time to have everybody read word for, if I like to call on you to read out loud. What I do recommend is I'm showing you this article because in the book, this is in chapter 3, they have lecturas. And I'm always trying to push, read, listen. I'm going to go ahead and read through this. And we're going to see how much you can understand. But the point of doing this is that I'll read through it, and I've got words already highlighted that are a little bit difficult, that are pointed out in blue, like danza del vientre. Danza del vientre. Vientre, actually, there probably should be a little dash there, is your belly, vientre. Or you can say barriga is your stomach, estomago. But that's for belly dancing. And this magras, that's referring to these type of proteins, lean proteins. So these are words you're not going to hear on a day-to-day basis. Okay. All right. Muy bien. What you can do, though, is if you wanted to go back and re-listen to it, you can go to this part of the video. And I always like to, when I'm studying a different language, I listen to an audio of the reading, and I'm hearing it read to me, and I'll read along with it. And it's a great strategy to pick up pronunciation, pick up new words, etc. So I'm going to read through this quickly, and then if you have any questions on what specific things mean, I'll open it up. Other than that, we'll be done for the night. Okay. Muy bien, excelente. Hispanos famosos y en forma, about activities, preferences, daily routines, etc. Muchos tenemos curiosidad cuando vemos a la gente famosa en la televisión y en el cine. ¿Cómo se mantiene delgada y en buena forma? ¿Qué hace todos los días? ¿Hace ejercicio? ¿Qué prefieres comer? ¿Qué prefiere comer? ¿Tienes curiosidad por saber la respuesta? Entre los hispanos de fama internacional, algunos, como Shakira, William Levy y Penelope Cruz, tienen un régimen bastante estricto que obviamente da buenos resultados. Lee y entérate. Shakira tiene un cuerpo muy bien formado y una buena rutina de ejercicio. Tiene sesiones de entretenimiento 6 días por semana, 60 minutos de pesas y 40 de danza cardio. También es aficionada a la danza del vientre, que es parte de su cultura libanesa. Shakira prefiere comer proteínas magras, frutas y verduras. Muy importante, come porciones pequeñas durante todo el día para mantener el metabolismo activo. Y finalmente, en su dieta no está permitido beber alcohol, ni café con cafeína, ni fumar, ni comer dulces. El cubano William Levy es modelo y actor del cine y televisión en Estados Unidos y en México. Tiene dos hijos. Christopher nació el 12 de mayo de 2006 y Kaylee nació el 6 de marzo de 2010. Le gusta mucho el béisbol, pero no es beisbolista profesional. A su hijo también le gusta mucho este deporte y tiene talento. William es guapo y delgado, pero fuerte y musculoso. Es necesario estar en forma para su profesión. Él dice que come bien y hace ejercicio con mucha frecuencia. Levanta pesas, corre por la playa, boxea y anda en kayak. Otro aspecto fundamental es su dieta alta en proteína y baja en carbohidratos. Penélope Cruz es otra actriz famosa que vemos delgada meses después de tener a sus hijos. Ella dice que le gusta mucho comer. Su secreto es que prefiere comer comidas saludables y hacer ejercicio. Es su opinión. Es suficiente comer con prudencia. No cree en las dietas para nada. Ahora, Penelope tiene dos hijos pequeños y duerme pocas horas. Hace ejercicio, pero prefiere entrenarse con baile porque es su pasión. Hay días que no pasa tiempo en el gimnasio porque es más importante pasar mucho tiempo con sus hijos Leo y Luna. Está bien porque eso es mucho ejercicio. ¿Qué opinas tú? ¿Prefieres hacer ejercicio o tener una dieta saludable o las dos cosas? That's actually a good question. I'm going to pose that question to you to finalize the class. First, any questions about what I read and curiosities about what things mean? One. And two, in the chat, let's type in an answer to that question. That's a great question at the end. ¿Qué opinas? ¿Prefieres, we're using the word preferir, prefieres hacer ejercicio o tener una dieta saludable o las dos cosas? ¿Qué prefieres? Vamos a escribir una respuesta. ¿Qué prefieres? ¿Qué prefieres? I'm waiting for an answer there for you. Muy bien. And I think I'm going to add hyphens to these incomplete words like vientre and saludables. That was kind of confusing there. It looks like there's two separate words, but it's all one word. Okay, okay. Okay, prefiero hacer las dos cosas. Muy bien. Prefiero dos cosas, las dos cosas. Prefiero las dos cosas. Yo también. Yo también prefiero las dos cosas. Excelente. Ya, hacer ejercicio, tener una dieta saludable, las dos cosas se recomiendan. Prefiero las dos cosas, prefiero las dos. Excelente, muy, muy, muy bien. Muy buenas respuestas. I'm going to go ahead and add little hyphens there to those two incomplete words. That was kind of confusing. Okay, perfecto. I always want to remind you that, of course, all the little pieces to our puzzle make us better people in language learning. Preguntas. ¿Hay algunas preguntas? Si no hay preguntas, I'm going to stick around for another 5 or so minutes because you guys go 2 hours straight without having a break. So I commend you all. And tonight there was a lot thrown at you. So I really appreciate your patience. But I'm going to stop recording right now. And those that want to